present. Second item on the agenda is budget presentations. The first presentation being given by Ken Beausoleil, First Selectman, and he will cover general budget, local capital improvement projects, and capital improvement plans. Ken.
Good evening. Which one? Okay, this is our presentation. What I'm going to be starting with is the overall expenditures proposed and the percentage changed. As you can see, the operating expenditures proposed is $4,832,276, a change of $263,398 for 5.8% for the total for the town side. The library administration is proposing $393,240, a change of $24,586 for a 6.7 change. Capital and transfers, $740,721, an increase of $268,121, which equals to a 56.7% increase. Debt service, $935,466, with an increase of $13,871, which equals out to 1.5%. Total budget expenditures, $6,901,703, a change of $569,976 for a 9% change. This year we have a change in our grand list. We just completed the grand list, so I have some fresh numbers that came on Monday at the conclusion. The fiscal year of, this is the October 2014 grand list numbers, which is for the fiscal year 2016. Last year they were at $499,703,580. This year, with the reevaluation and the grand list being completed, we have an increase of $502,072,890 of a change of $2,369,310. Motor vehicle on 14 was $66,283,000. We have an increase to $69,145,490, a change of $2,862,490. Personal property, $17,512,240. This year, $27,266,430, a change of $9,754,190. So the grand list itself went up from $583,498,820 to $598,484,810, with a net increase of $14,985,990. What this translates to is a $15 million net increase in the grand list, which equals $378,000 in additional revenue at the current mill rate of 24.8. Okay, increases in the operating expenses. Salary and wages, we're proposing $1,949,638. It's an increase of $141,655, which shows out to 7.83%. Municipal insurance, $76,500, an increase of $2,574, a 3.5% increase. Our snow and salt snow removal, we had it budgeted, we're budgeting it to $200,000 with an increase of $30,000, which is a 17.6% increase. Fringe benefits, $1,036,500, an increase of $30,932, 3.1%. The fire departments, which includes a variety of things, the hydrants, the insurances, and everything else associated with that line item, $505,024, an increase of $17,984, which comes out to 3.7%. Data processing, $54,690. Which nets out to an increase of $10,090, a 22.6% increase. Town council, estimating at 40. We're increasing it by 7, 21.2. This is anticipated legal costs for the coming year. Town hall building, $109,550. We're increasing that by $9,091. It's a 9% increase, and that is for repairs that are much needed in the building. Okay, the highway department, and this is excluding salaries, proposed $422,089, which increase of $36,300, 9.4 increase, which is for equipment repair, uniform service, truck repair, signs, supplies. Ground supplies, parks, $19,675, an increase of $1,000, 5% increase for supplies. Building official, excluding salaries, $4,655, $1,830 increase, 65% overall. This is the addition of an emergency fund for emergency situations that the building inspector will incur under major fires and so forth. Historical Society, we're proposing $1,975. It's a $1,000 increase. This is in relation, it comes up to 102%.6, and this is for energy costs for the library that is deeded to the Historical Society. We currently give them $975 for energy cost based on the current energy needs and so forth. They requested an increase for those energy costs in order to keep the building at a minimum heat level. Selectmen's Department, excluding salaries, we're proposing $7,700. It's a $3,585 increase. Overall for 87%. This has to do with anticipated advertising, travel, fees, meetings, and a few miscellaneous items. We are expecting more referendums, and we're having the more elections for the coming year. The registrars, $53,371, an increase $3,061, 6.1%. This is all training that has been mandated by the state. Emergency management, excluding salaries, $2,520, a $500 increase, which comes out to 24%. This is for the vehicle, the Hummer, for minor maintenance on it for the coming year. Public health, $41,048, an increase of $1,762, up 4.5%. This is by a per capita. Our population is at 9,308. It's an increase of 21 cents per capita, which brings it up to $4.41 per person. General services, $96,567, an increase of $16,005, 19.9%. This is T programs and the TVCCA, which is Meals on Wheels. Okay, I'm going to get into capital and transfer expenditures. Road resurfacing, which has been very constant, $200,000. Chip sealing, $150,000, which figures out to 6 miles of road that the highway will do this year. We have put into there a need for a sweeper. Our current sweeper is a 1989 and 1983, and it's costing us $5,300 to $6,000 every year to get each one of these up and running for the road. We're proposing a $200,000 cost, and we will look at used in order to offset the $200,000 asking, if there is one available. A forklift used to be used at the highway garage for $12,000. A mower for doing the parks. We split that up into 2 years at $20,000 each. Transfer station container, which is new, at $12,000. We also put back into the budget this year, because it wasn't budgeted, is property revaluation that is done every 5 years. We do have a NECOG contract that saves us a substantial sum of money based on the bidding system. It is normally $30,747 each year for 5 years. As I was saying, it was not budgeted in the past year, so we did 1.5 times this year, which turns out to be $46,121, and we intend to budget $46,121 next year, and then get back to the $30,747 for the next 3 years. Library roof, continue to add $25,000 into that repair line for doing the roof. Library repairs, again, $50,000 into that repair line. The library staff has asked for 6 computers at $5,400. We did put in a recreation truck. We currently have one that is in the early 80s, I believe, and it is not faring very well. It needs to be replaced, so we're going to value that out at $10,000 for a used truck. We have Little League Complex upgrade at $5,000, park improvements at $5,200, for a grand total of $740,721 in capital transfers. Okay, I'm going to touch on a few things. Number one is, there we go, is the salaries. Union increase based on contract is 2.25%. Non-union town, excluding the library, is 2.25%. We have other increases, including the library and salaries, at $32,071. We have in the budget new positions. We have an assessor clerk at $37,757. As I had informed the board at the last Board of Finance meeting, we do not have a full-time assessor, and we are working towards a permanent resolution to man that department appropriately. So this line item with this person at $37,757 is a work in progress that we will work through during the budget season. The highway department, we are asking for 1 part-time employee at $22,422, working 19 hours a week. We feel that we need that in order to, because we have not had anybody in the town for the past dozen years that is able to do work on the buildings between the Riverside Park, the town hall, the highway garage, the lawn care, things that need to be done, and the building surely shows that this is definitely in need of being taken care of. We do have a library administrative part-time assistant in there, and that is at $10,171. There are some additional hours in the salary line for $11,008. Okay, under the fire departments, like I said, we gave them an increase. This here is the justifying the needs. Again, the OSHA compliance is still an issue for funding. They have gear issues that have to be, Scott air packs that have to be replaced every 10 years. Looking at 75 sets of turnout gear that was purchased in '03 that have a 10-year life on them as well. Cost of full set of gear for interior firefighters is between $6,000 and $7,000. We have NFPA mandated replacement of tires every 10 years with an average cost of $800 per tire. NFPA can no longer test hoses purchased prior to 1989. Hoses must be replaced. We currently have in the fire service right now 10,650 feet of hose that is no longer will be viable to the fire departments. What is not here in the budget, because we did not have numbers, and we will present those during our budget season as we deliberate, is the ambulance to be discussed during the budget. We did not have solid numbers in order to put something in, so we didn't at this point. We felt when we have the permanent numbers to show and justify the needs that we would discuss that with the fire departments at that time during the budget process. Public Works and Capital, road resurfacing, Porter Plain, Limehouse, Fabian Road, Reardon Road are projects that we're aiming with the road resurfacing money to tackle this year. Chip sealing, which is also part of the major capital, Sandan Road, Church Street, Stowicki, Mary Road, Messier Road, Red Bridge, and any other road that Leo can get ready, because we do an average of 6 miles per road, so he will attempt to get everything in place so we can do it, and that is a time-sensitive thing with the weather to do the oiling and the chip sealing. That is the overview that I have. I will be happy to entertain any questions. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Ken. Per the agenda for this evening, next to present is Dr. Michael Jolin, Thompson Public Schools.
Thank you, Mr. McGarry. I think the Board of Education has made an excellent decision, a change in the way we present the budget. This evening, Mr. Bill Witkowski, the chair of the Board of Education, will be presenting the budget rather than myself. I certainly concur with the idea that the Board of Education came forward with is it's the Board of Education's budget, not just the superintendent's budget. So, Mr. Witkowski, if you'd like to come up here representing the Thompson Board of Education.
Thank you. Members of the Board of Finance, Board of Selectmen, community members, I will do this budget presentation if I can figure out the clicker thing here. We'll start off. Who are we? We are a small district that provides high-quality education efficiently and effectively. Small school, big opportunities. We're the only school in Connecticut that has the high school, middle school, and elementary school all under one roof. We're very unique. We're a unique situation here. We have 1,020 students currently enrolled in our school, but I think it's important to add there are, at a minimum, 205 Thompson students that go to other schools, and you can see them listed there. Many of these we're responsible in one way or another. In addition to that, there are a number of students that aren't listed here that go to private prep schools that we don't know. Any one of them that could come back at any time. I think that's an important note to make. Our achievements, we NEASC accredited. Our elementary was NIAC accredited, and 88% of our 2015 class went on, whether to college, post-secondary school, or join the military. That's very impressive for a little town like us. And we do this all efficiently. You can see our cost per pupil at $16,101 as compared to a couple of our surrounding towns. again, like Dr. Jolin said, this is the Board of Education budget. This is not his budget, it is not the administrator's budget. The way it works is they present to him. They start the budget discussion with Neil, they go to Dr. Jolin, he brings it to us, and we come up with the needs of the school. We vote on it, we vote on the number to bring to you, and this is what we've done. Also, what we did this year for the first time, we did an online survey. We had 231 respondents. We got all the information back, compiled the information, and this is some of what the survey showed us. That what's important to the people who responded: hiring and retaining quality teachers, 55%. Providing students with quality materials, books, computers, technology, 20%. Providing support services to struggling students and keeping class sizes small. Our priority ranking in this survey was technology, student support, and art and music. We were very, at a side note, we were very happy with this first go-around. And once the budget is done, we think we'll do another survey to see how we think we did, and we're going to continue this. These are some of our increases here. You can see our salaries, our contractual salaries are up 4.5%, health insurance up 9%, special education up 6.3%. Our building repair and maintenance is up 49%. What I'd like to do with this, take this opportunity to invite the Board of Finance, the Board of Selectmen, and any community members who want to come next Thursday before your meeting to go through the school and see some of our aging buildings, some of the spots that need painting, some that need repair. We're very proud of our facility, but it needs some attention. Every year we get cut back a little bit. It's time we start taking care of our schools. So that would be next Thursday, 6 o'clock, and we can meet probably in the middle school foyer there. I think it'd be important. If you have not been in the school in a while, I think it's important to come through and look. Our substitute line is up 42%, legal up 25%, textbooks up 255%. You will see, if you come next week, some of the aging textbooks where we still have some very old, out-of-date material. New positions, we have a couple of new positions for $189,000. If you take out the salaries, the health insurance, the special education, that is almost $800,000, and we can't do anything with that. That leaves us a very small number that we're asking for this year. New positions, a social worker, and for $50,000. We really see a need to help the social and emotional needs of some of our students. We're looking for a preschool teacher. We want to expand our preschool. We realize the importance of early education. We have a beautiful facility down there. We want to make the most of it. If we get that, we really need a paraprofessional to work with this preschool teacher. If you have 13 3- and 4-year-olds, it's kind of tough to herd them all together, so they definitely need help. We see the need to invest in early education to alleviate some needs for intervention in following years. These are salary increases from 2016-2017. Teachers, 1.1%. Administrators, 1.5%. Secretaries have negotiated at 1.95%. Custodians, 1.95%. Paras negotiated 2%. Bus drivers, right now, we're budgeted at 1.5%. Non-union budgeted at an average of 3.6%. This is, I think, an important slide that I asked to be put in. We have almost 200 people employed here at the school. That's 200 people that may or may not take health insurance, that have vacation time, that have sick time. It's a big cost. We're the largest employer in the town. And 42% of the people that work here live in this town too. This kind of shows you our budget in a pie chart. You can see the only thing we really have any kind of control over is that discretionary. That's a very small piece of the pie at 3%. This discretionary includes textbooks, travel, professional development, supplies, dues, fees, software. Special ed is a 20% piece of that pie. The law says we need to provide a free and appropriate education for all students. This is an expensive proposition. You can see salaries, outplacements, tuitions, transportation. These are some of the expenses we've had over the last 5 years. And you can see we really got ourselves in a hole by not budgeting correctly. Now, special ed is kind of a shot in the dark sometimes because it's very fluid. 2 or 3 kids with some learning differences could move into town, some could move out. Our average, on one of the previous slides, showed our average cost is $16,101. Well, if we have a student that is outplaced, we need to spend 4.5 times that $16,101 before the state even thinks about reimbursing us. That means we'd have to spend $72,000, almost $72,500, and then they would reimburse us at just a percentage. So if there was a $100,000 outplacement, after the $72,000 is $27,000 left, they might reimburse us at 70%, and that's only $19,000. That's expensive. And a couple of years ago, we had 26 special needs kids, I believe. So it adds up pretty quickly. But we are legally and morally obliged to educate these students. They didn't ask for the hand that was dealt to them, but we are doing our best to educate them. And what happens at this point is we see the cost rising. Our business manager keeps an eye on things. Our superintendent keeps an eye on things. As the costs go up, we freeze the budget. We've already froze the budget this year. So now we're not spending any money on regular ed students. There's no more books, no more pencils, no more paper being bought, because we're being responsible to the town, to the taxpayers, by freezing the budget and not overspending. This spending, the special ed, it's out of our control, but it happens, and it happens almost every year. This is our special education, how this has gone up over the last 10 years. You can see 37%, special ed is up 245%, healthcare up 77%. These are our expenses this year, and you can see that 99% of the budget is already used. There's about $12,000 available, really not very much with, 3 or 4 months to go. Our proposed state budget is just cuts everywhere. It's going to make our jobs that much more difficult. The education cost share is going to be flat. Transportation has been cut, excess special education grant is cut, magnets, priority, open choice, adult ed, all flat. Our education cost share stays flat, and yet our other costs go up, our special ed, our healthcare, our contracts, everything goes up, widening that gap that we need to make up somehow. The only way we can make it up, short of getting a larger increase, is by cutting services. These are some of the grants that we get this year. Some are competitive, some we get just by applying. This is just kind of a an interesting slide, how our role keeps getting more complicated. In 1910, schools were responsible for reading and math. In the last 100 years, responsibilities have been added. Anything from school transportation to full-day kindergarten and preschool. Speech and drama, that was back in the 70s, I think. These are over the last 50 years or so. Since 2001, we have No Child Left Behind, bully prevention, anti-harassment, expanded early childhood programs, Race to the Top. All of these have been added without adding any more time to our school day. And I might add, with very little money, any funding. These mostly, we always complain about the unfunded mandates. So what do our students need? We see a need for textbooks, e-books, technology. We see it, the community as a whole who responded to our survey sees it. High school science, social studies, textbooks, e-books to align with state standards. Science reading and content levels are not at the level of rigor for grades 8 and 5. And our current age of our textbooks, 1998, 99, 2000 to 2007. Again, you're welcome to look at some of this stuff. It's you see, after years and years and years, it does take a beating. So what does our community need? We believe increased preschool opportunities to help every student get the start they deserve. We see that. We see that as a school, as educators, we see that. Early intervention could lower the number of students in special education if for every 1% of the population we decrease special education, we could save approximately $300,000. We believe we can do that by offering more preschool slots, early intervention, and identification. You can see some of the surrounding towns, how they do their preschool tuition. Most of it's on the sliding scale. Some is free. I'm not suggesting we do it free. I think we should do it on a sliding scale. It does bring in some money to pay for the program. It's not a revenue source, but we can buy supplies and things like that with it. Our current preschool, we have 42 enrolled. By adding one new one, we could do 24 more students for half days or 12 more for a full day session. That's yet to be determined. We're going to need to see if we can do this. What do our students need? They need expanded social, emotional supports. You can see on this slide the recommended caseload for your counselors, psychologists in the elementary, middle school, high school. Our current enrollment is the next one, the next row over, and we're a little bit above averages. There's a greater need. We see a greater need day to day. There's kids with coming here with issues, whether they're coming from single family homes, homes with substance abuse, single parents. It doesn't matter. We see more and more, and to educate them, sometimes we have to take care of them first, and that's why we are looking for another counselor. What would a social worker do? Work with parents' families, assist parents in the school for resources, put them in touch with what they need, attendance and truancy, they're advocates, intervention strategies, and they can assist in a number of ways. Ending up to date, our class of 2016, we have 42 colleges have accepted our students. Our running scholarship total is $450,000 so far. And now for a decade we have trimmed important aspects of our educational program and put off and delayed. We're now at the point that if this budget is not approved, we will be forced to begin cuts to technology, textbooks, sports, arts curriculum, before and after school programs. Communities are judged by how we care for our elders and how we educate our children. The real estate market, the resale of homes and apartment rentals is driven by investment in schools and social services. This is an investment not in just our children, but in our homes. I respectfully invite and ask everyone to stay involved in this process. You're invited at any one of our budget workshops, the Board of Finance workshops. And with that, if you have any questions for myself or Dr. Jolin, we'd be happy to answer them.
Questions from members of the Board of Finance? Thank you, Bill. There's nothing else on our agenda for this evening other than to adjourn. Before we do that, just wanted to let everyone know that the Board of Finance will be meeting weekly in the Louis P. Fosher Community Center, Thursday evenings, 7 p.m. The one exception, I believe, is Holy Thursday, until we pass a budget. So you are welcome to join us for those meetings. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Larry moves and Ray seconds. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening.